Waiting. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report. Waiting to gather facts on the Eagle story shooting in. I was going to start with Kansas State today because they've won 6 in a row. But I'm going to go chronological order, which means Mizzou plays Georgia. The Tigers are 1.5 point favorites. Key Tigers to watch out for are 6th in bracketology right now. Players to watch out for the Tigers: Caleb Grill, Tamar Bates, Mark Mitchell. Mark Mitchell came out with a game high against Arkansas where he finished with 25 in a career night. Caleb Grill can hit the threes if he's hot, and Tamar Bates is the best player for the Tigers. But it seems like the Tigers can have anybody of those three players score more than 10 points. Game time is at 2:30. Again, Missouri's only favored by 1.5. I'll take the Tigers 76-73. In college, the Kansas State Wildcats have won 6 in a row. They'll get another hard one with BYU. Kansas State has to keep winning these games after the terrible start. Players to watch out for: David Nagesson, Doug McDaniel. He had 24 on Tuesday. Game time 8:30. BYU 77-72. Give me that score. Kansas State is still on the next 4 out, according to Joe Lenardi. The Kansas Jayhawks will travel to Utah in this game. I can see a blowout by Kansas, but they haven't done that this year, really. Kansas is ranked 17th and probably overranked. Hunter Dickerson, Zake Mayo, Wiley Griffin are players to watch out for the Jayhawks. DeJuan Harrison is also a player to watch out for the Jayhawks. For Utah, it's Gabe Madison. Tip is it set for 9. I have the Hawks winning 70-60. Tip is set for 9 for KU and Utah. BYU, game time is set for 8:30. BYU and Kansas State. And Mizzou is set for. It was decided today that Arron Rogers would be cut by the. Well, it was decided yesterday that Arron Rogers would be cut by the Jets. That's according to all sources. Of course, he's still the team member until free agency actually hits, which is March 14th. Frankly, Arron Rogers is no longer a good player. And all the stuff that comes along with it, Arron Rodgers, what's Alex Smith or Kirk Cousins used to be. But the problem is you have to deal with what comes along with Arron Rodgers. And you'll be asking yourself, if you give Arron Rodgers the enigma of what comes along with Arron Rodgers, i.e. his Netflix show. The Pittsburgh Steelers, I think, may be a good place. I mean, they're in the playoff race, but I'm not sure Russell Wilson's or Justin Fields isn't better. Las Vegas, I'm not really sure they have a better option. San Francisco, I think Brock Purdy's a better quarterback right now. He is just off a year of where he brought the Super Bowl. But if the 49ers want to sign him and they think they can be a better team, then that's that. The Tennessee Titans, he could be a veteran leader and lead the team to a place. I mean, yeah, he's a stopgap quarterback, but I'm not sure why Arron Rodgers is anywhere else than a stopgap quarterback. He is a Alex Smith or Kirk Cousins at quarterback. The Cleveland Browns is another underrated idea. A starter immediately that would become that team. They don't really have a good option, nor do the Browns, nor is there much draft stock for teams really at the quarterback position this year. I think he could go to the Browns and maybe be an average quarterback. No matter what, I don't think Arron Rodgers is going to make the playoffs. And here's Ryan Clark on agreeing with me on that.
Don't nobody care about Arron Rodgers' numbers. Can Arron Rodgers fit in a building locker room, in a locker room that's trying to gain a culture, acquire a culture, become a culture? That's what you have to worry about if you're Coach Callahan. I don't care that Arron Rodgers can throw footballs and score touchdowns. I care that the young people in that locker room are going to listen to my message, that my quarterback, my veteran is going to distribute that message, to communicate that message in the exact same way that I do. And so if you're going to get Aaron Rodgers, the player, you have to know you're getting a diminished Aaron Rodgers with all the ego, all the arrogance, all the things that came along with being a 4-time MVP. So those are, to me, the more important conversations if you're looking to bring Aaron Rodgers on your team to finish out a first ballot Hall of Fame career.
In Philadelphia, according to sources, the New Orleans Saints hire Kellen Moore as their head coach. You'll get no argument from here. His successful offensive coordinator, including winning the Super Bowl this season. In his 6 years of holding a job for the organization, he's had top 10 offenses 3 times and has been to top 7 in the scoring 4 times. He also is coming off arguably his finest season, which he took over the dysfunctional Eagles offense and turned them back into a top 10 unit and helped them guide them to a Super Bowl. It is easy when you have that kind of talent that the Philadelphia Eagles do. And it is slightly less excellent to Dallas's from 2019 to 2022, where he was the offensive coordinator. He's going to have a lot less to work with in New Orleans, where the Saints are starting at the potential to painfully rebuild the Saints with a cap problem. Shopping for new quarterback will be in the guards. Is 36-year-old ready for such a large task? The Saints do not have a lot of options because the desire of the scared-off bunch of candidates. Former Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy removed himself from consideration at first interview. Ben Johnson, now at the Bears, had no interest in it. No interest. Aaron Glenn declined a sound interview to take the Jets job. So the Bills' offensive coordinator, Joe Brady, who stayed in Buffalo, and the Commanders' offensive coordinator, Cliff Kingsbury, did not interview by them at all for the Saints. At least Moore was a former backup quarterback, the Lions 2012 to 2014, and was the Cowboys 2015 and 2017. Have time to grow on the job with a terrible salary cap situation for the Saints. A $54 million over the cap, they can't have a reasonable expectations of winning this year. The grade is a B- for the Saints. I have seen it as a B- from Fox, a B, and a score of C from the Score. Here's some notes on the expectation for the Saints and their salary cap issues. The Saints are projected to be $50 million over the cap in 2025 and $27 million worse off. The next closer team is that point at $27 million, carrying over $3 million for spending 2025. The Saints are slated to spend $16 million over the cap, and 2025 salary cap is around $70 million. The Saints are facing a critical turning point. They acknowledge they're needing for rebuild. The Saints' financial situation is desired to following disappointment season marked by a 5-12 record. An impact to salary cap can major issues in negotiating between leagues and management and players union. They limit the players' team ability to negotiate salaries. So what am I saying? I'm saying that this hire almost has no chance of working, at least for the first year of Kellen Moore. They may have to expand the hiring and give him 3 more seasons to see how good Kellen Moore is as a head coach. And I'm just not sure the Saints are going to give him that time. But as far as the hiring goes, I give it a B- to a C+. That's on the Saints.